Hey, what's going on, everyone? Appreciate y'all coming here and checking out this Fallout 76 video. In this one, we're going to be discussing Fallout 76 and its new huge update that we just got. It came with a lot of positive changes, and it also came with negative ones. There's also quite a bit of new features too added within this update that some of you may enjoy. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this topic. First things first, I'm going to be covering something positive that was just recently introduced into the game. If you're having troubles with like crashing and whatnot, if you specifically play on PlayStation, it has been a pretty serious problem for PlayStation players. But it's good to know that they are trying to stabilize the game. As you can see in the most recent patch notes, they fixed quite a bit here. There's a lot of things they're tightening up within the game. You know, fixing a lot of bugs and making a lot of improvements. But something I want to touch base on specifically is stability improvements for PlayStation platform. As some of you may know, I recently made a video going over this discussion. There was like over 700 something comments in there of players talking about how they are experiencing crashes. It seems like Bethesda is trying to work on this problem, which is just great to know. This is a pretty serious problem for PlayStation users, making the game pretty much unplayable. Like, it just crashes too much to make it enjoyable while playing. Me personally, I haven't been experiencing it much, but I do play on Xbox Series S. It seems like it's more of a PlayStation problem, but there was plenty of comments talking about they were crashing on Xbox One too. Maybe they're talking about like the regular Xbox One or Xbox Series X. But personally, for the S, I haven't had too many difficulties, to be real with you guys, with crashing. But yeah, this is great that they're touching base on this. Something else positive that I want to get into before I just talk about negative, but as you can see also in the known issues here within their most recent Inside the Vault, talking about this new update, they did mention the team is aware and are continuing to investigate reports of lag when using the Pip-Boy. We thank you for your patience. If you're experiencing this issue, please contact our customer support team so we can collect more information. Honestly, the more info they get on these specific problems that are in the game, the better. So I definitely suggest to contact Bethesda if you are having troubles. I'll actually have a link down below in the description of where you go to report bugs. It's pretty straightforward, so yeah, be sure to report any kind of problems you're having because this will help Bethesda tighten up on these problems. The more info they have, the better. But anyways, also, in case you don't know what the Milepost Zero update is about, here are some of the highlights of it. As you can see, the update highlights are legendary crafting. Craft your ideal weapons and armor with this updated take on crafting that gives you more control over the mods that are on your legendary items, which I gotta say is freaking amazing. We can now scrap down legendaries and have a potential chance to get those specific legendary effects and use them to create our own little masterpiece of a weapon or armor. It's freaking awesome. But we do have to scrap down a lot of the legendaries. Like if you're wanting a bloodied legendary effect so you can, you know, craft it onto other weapons or something, you're going to have to more than likely scrap down a lot of bloodied legendary weapons until you actually get the thing that you need to craft it onto other weapons. Hope you know it's not just like one and done. No, not at all. But it could be if you're lucky enough, I guess. But yeah, it typically takes a lot of scrapping to get an effect to be able to, you know, customize your own legendary weapon, or once again armor, or heck, even power armor. But anyways, carrying on, they also added something called best builds, which is an interesting thing. It did come with a lot of problems, which I'll be discussing about those here in a little bit. But yeah, this is something pretty cool. In my opinion, we get to now visit best builds in the game. As you can see, you just submit, visit, and rate camps from across the wasteland for all to see. And the best builds do stand out. They have like their own distinct icon on the map. So that's how you know it is a best build. So when you go there, you can choose to rate it, give it a thumbs up, just so the ratings are higher and more players will know that this is actually a good one and not just something, you know, willy-nilly that someone put together and got lucky with a lot of thumbs ups. And I will say, being able to submit our camps as a best build is so nice. You don't have to technically participate in a best build if you don't want players rating your camp or anything. You have to literally submit your build to be as a best build if you want it to get rated and stuff. But yeah, as you can see here, there's also vendor history log, and we can now start our own caravan. Not yet though. This is definitely a disappointment because this is one of the main things from this update, but they did half it down because it seems like it does need more work, which is good. That they are working on it more so it doesn't come out as buggy. But as you can see later this month, you'll be able to protect your caravan from raiders and creatures alike as you make deliveries around Skyline Valley. So right now that new Blue Ridge Caravan event is not out in the game quite yet. They did have to wait on that to officially release it into the game because once again it came with some issues that they're still trying to fix. But yeah, this update actually was kind of an interesting one. As you can see here, getting into the update size, it states Fallout 76's overall file size is getting smaller, so they're compacting it so it's not as big of a download size, which is interesting. Maybe that's how they're improving the stability. I'm not exactly sure. It's interesting they are trying to clean it up a little bit so it's not as large of a download. But yeah, thanks to the work of our tech team, we now expect the total size of Fallout 76 to be around 95 gigabytes, with some variants for the different platforms. To reach this new size, all players will have to re-download the game. This is why you may notice that update size for Moppo Zero is larger than normal. Thanks in advance for your patience. Please note, you do not need to uninstall the game to receive the Moppo Zero patch. You will notice a large update that you will have to download. The platform you're playing on will do the rest. Check the download sizes below for today's update on your platform of choice. So yes, as you can see, some pretty large download sizes here. For PC Steam, it's an 82 gigabyte download. For PC Microsoft Store, it's a 96.5 gigabyte download. For Xbox, it's a 96.6 gigabyte download, and PlayStation is a 92.67 gigabyte download. Whew, that was a mouthful, but on the for real note, that is a large update download size, and that's the reason why it's such a large one. They're compacting the game a little bit more with this update, which seems to have improved the stability for players. Yeah, players are still experiencing crashes, but just hopefully not as bad. Speaking of crashes, they did state they fixed another crashing problem as well with this improvement here. Where is it? Hang on. Okay, here it is. So, in general here, they fixed a crash when fast traveling while camera is half underwater. So that's one crash fix they did. And for seismic activity, which is against the Ultrasight Titan, they fixed an issue which could cause a crash for certain consoles, which I know that was happening to my one buddy who played on Xbox One. He kept crashing during it or at the end of it, etc. But now it seems like that has been fixed, and I'm sure that was probably a problem on PlayStation as well. So hopefully you guys aren't experiencing as many crashes there. And they did mention overall they did try to improve the stability for PlayStations, which is great. They are noticing there is a problem going on over there with that system. So hopefully this is helping you guys out a little bit more. You know, some effort is better than no effort. In my opinion, that's great to see. But now since you know about this update and the good that has came out of it, which as you saw, there's plenty of other fixes and improvements that I could have went over, which I'm just not going to because that will just extend this video even longer than what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to make this like a freaking documentary or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Bethesda is cracking down on a lot of problems in the game, which is amazing to see. But as you know, with most updates, there comes problems after they are released, even though they do have a public test server for players to test it out. But that's just only on PC, as you may know. And there's just not enough players in general to try to, you know, find out every little nitty-gritty problem that's going on. But when it fully releases to everyone, there's now more players experiencing the game and, you know, seeing these problems. And it's good that some of these problems are being reported from some players, because this makes other players aware that they are in the game, especially developers. This is going to help them too. But yeah, as you can see here, this is a great Fallout 76 Reddit post just going over a lot of the problems that the community is coming across with this new update, which I'll have a link down below in the description to this Reddit post. It's a freaking amazing one, and a lot of the comments are getting involved as well with this Reddit post, you know, mentioning how they are experiencing these problems that this person talked about. And heck, even some commenters mentioned some new things as well, and this person's updating the post. And Bethesda has replied to this post too, which is great. They are aware of these, you know, occurrences. As you can see here, September 3rd, 2024, update kicks into full gear. Players forward into the game to embrace the newest season and to seek out their desires of becoming heavy haulers for the Blue Ridge Caravan Company. But what could be waiting around the bend? Surely not some sort of roadblock, right? Well, so yeah, then they go and discuss a lot of the issues, which is great that he has documented these issues so other players are aware that these are problems and not just occurring to them and stuff. As you see, a lot of players are now running out of action points and need coffee. What he means by need coffee, you know, coffee regenerates action points. So yeah, a lot of players are running out of action points faster than usual, which is true. I went into the game and tested this. It seems like there is some kind of action point bug happening after this update. So be aware of that. It's not your build. It's something going on with this update. Dead bodies stealing our loot. Locals are finding out the hard way with this new bug. Dead bodies are not turning into meat piles or floor loot, which this has been discussed also with plenty of other players, not just here. You'll see in the comments as well if you go and check out this Reddit post. So you're not alone on that either. It seems like there's some kind of problem going on with the meat piles as well. There's weather control has no control. Seems like weather control stations are currently bugged and not working properly for some people. Multiple reports of specific weather not implementing while inside the camps, even if it's hooked up to power. Although this seems like it can be fixed by server hopping, but isn't guaranteed. I guess clear skies are gone and the Skyline Valley is now back to being dark and stormy. So there you go. There's another problem that is occurring. Sometimes melee weapons are for some reason reloading. This is a strange bug. This person had said melee weapons have been dropping with the legendary effect plus 15% reload speed. So if you get that, of course, you know that isn't supposed to be on a melee weapon, which isn't too bad of a bug to be real. It's just something minor to worry about, but either way, it's good to note that it is in the game and it is happening. Power armor is still bugged as well. Unfortunately, this issue is still ongoing, from exploding limbs, a broken compass, and just plain old getting stuck inside these death traps. Which, yes, I have seen players report about getting stuck in power armor still. And also, I dived into the game, and it does seem like the compass is broken on the power armor as well. I've tried to put up a waypoint, couldn't find my waypoint, can't find where my quest is exactly on the compass. I don't know, seems like it is happening though. So the reload function also for the broadsider multi-shot canister is busted. I haven't experienced this because I don't play with the broadsider, but that's what this person is saying. Players are now forced to load each cannonball individually before unloading on their enemies. This is a pain for most folk in sticky situations, and we have no idea if this was a nerf or just a plain old bug. Anyways, carrying on here. Ranges of legendary crafting. Legendary cores have been removed entirely. The Institute made arrangements for the cores to be converted to legendary script at a 1-1 rate. However, many folk have logged into the game to find they haven't received their script. This doesn't seem like it's impacted all locals, but it's worth checking if you remember how many cores / script if you had prior to the update. Is this an actual issue? Who knows? That seems like it could be a problem, but I don't know. I didn't really keep track of my legendary cores to be real, so I don't know honestly. If I personally can't recall experiencing this problem, but it could be an issue with some players out there. Okay, so this is a big one, especially in the comments section of this Reddit post. Somebody broke my camp decor. This person's talking about how like there's like missing and broke items in their camps, and also like things have just been changed around a little bit. It's kind of weird, as you see, ranging from specific wall decor being invisible, vegetation decor completely missing, and specific crafting benches such as the stone outdoor oven cannot be used. Shouldn't be a big deal to most homeowners. However, this bug is causing residents stress as some of these missing decors cannot be scrapped or moved due to the items being invisible and immovable. Fantastic. In other unrelated bug news, man, this Reddit post is great though. I like it how it does touch base on the actual problems that are happening. But this is also a big one that I wanted to go over, is the camp blocked and best builds private worlds endless headaches. So what's going on here? There's a lot of players that are loading into their game and realizing their camp is now in no build zones, which this was fixed due to like the Meat Week event. For one, if you had your camp around like a Meat Week event, like a limited time event, where you could just farm it being AFK or something at your camp, they tried to fix that so you can no longer place your camps around those limited time events. So that's the reason why some of your camps may be blocked, but there's an issue going on with best builds in private worlds. Like there's been a lot of players reporting when they go into a private world, they realize their camp is blocked and there's like a best build in their private world, which is an unusual bug to happen. It came with the best builds new feature that came out with this update. So some players' private worlds aren't as private. I would love to know if you've experienced this personally. If you have, jot it down below in the comments about this. But I have seen quite a bit of people discussing this where they're going into private worlds, their private world, and they can't place their camp no more. And there's a best build in their private world, which is that would just suck. I mean you are paying for private worlds to be private, so you should expect it to be private, which I'm sure Bethesda will fix this issue pretty quickly. I mean, this just wasn't exactly able to be tested that well because in public test servers, you don't have a private server. You're on a public test server. So yeah, that made its way sneakily into the game, it seems like. Either way, I'm sure Bethesda will try to do something about that problem pretty quickly. But anyways, carrying down here are some things that he updated on the post. Ticket to Revenge, more like Ticket to the Scrap Box. Seems like the Legendary Weapon Ticket to Revenge has lost its legendary perks entirely, which is true, as you can see here. Thirst Quencher perk nerfs action point regeneration. Yup, you read that right. Multiple reports of the new perk card Thirst Quencher actually nerfs action point regeneration and actually brings the regen to a complete halt when taking radiation damage. Locals are advised to use perk outside of blast zones and all radioactive areas until this perk is fixed. But yeah, getting kicked out of a team, it's not your fault. This one's a strange one. Players have been reporting issues of losing their teammates while playing the game. The message shows that the leader removed the player, but this isn't the case, and for some reason it's happening at random to one or all players in said team. Invisible NPCs, terminated engaged, score progression bar is going out of whack. The great drought of... But yeah, anyways, carried on here. A Bethesda employee actually responded to this post and said this, which is great that they are aware. First, thank you all for the reports since the release of Milepost Zero. I have reported these topics to the team for investigation. If your legendary cores did not convert to script, please reach out to our customer support team so we can investigate. If your camp decor is not working as intended, please reply and let me know what items you are having problems with. As always, thank you for your patience and sorry for the inconvenience. Second, Sickology, you're amazing. I appreciate what you're doing with the Wasteland Weekly, and thanks for being such a clear, strong voice for what the community is experiencing. So yeah, it's an occurrence that's happening to more than just one person. It's happening to quite a bit. If you just read through this post, there's tons of comments on this post. 444 comments. 1,500 likes. That's great for a Fallout 76 Reddit post. So I have to say, yeah, Sickology's Reddit post was great. It was a great read, and it documented problems that are occurring in the game, which is great because, you know, players actually genuinely care about this game. So you just don't want to leave these problems alone and think they're going to just fix themselves in the next update or something. It's good to actually report these problems so the developers are aware of these happening in the game. And as you saw, the developers are made aware now that these are happening thanks to this guy documenting these problems. Which, speaking of that, once again, as a reminder, if you are, you know, having issues, report the bug to Bethesda. You never know if it's just like some kind of simple fix they could easily do. And so it's good to actually report problems that you are having just so we can clean up the wasteland together here by getting rid of things that are making the game unenjoyable to play. They did mention to report to the customer support team at Bethesda, which I recommend to do that as well, once again, with all the bugs that you may be encountering with this update. The more information they know, once again, of what's bad happening in their game, hopefully the better for them to get these problems squashed out of the game. But yeah, I figured I'd make a video going over the new update as well as the new problems that it came with. Well, let us know how you guys are experiencing the new update. Is it a good one, or did it come with a lot of issues that you haven't been really fond of with this update? Personally, to me, the main meat of this update is coming out in the future of what I'm more excited about, and that is the repeatable event with the Blue Ridge Caravan. I guess the legendary crafting is also really awesome. The best builds is also pretty cool. I was having some issues with it though, to be real with you guys, submitting it for some reason, which I found a fix for that. I actually read up on it. There was other players experiencing what I was experiencing and I couldn't submit it. It seems like if you don't add pictures, it submits easier, but also after a while I was able to submit it with pictures, but it just took a while. It kept saying I couldn't submit it for some reason. Yeah, there's some posts talking about that issue as well, and that is something that I did run into as well when I was on the game, because I wanted to submit a best build real quick while I was just chilling on the game. I already have a camp made, but I wasn't able to do that for the longest. I tried logging in, logging back in for hours, then eventually I just, you know, gave up on it and came back, and then I was able to submit the camp for some reason. It's odd. But yeah, I guess that's wrapping up this video one. I'm out of here. As always, most importantly, I appreciate y'all taking the time watching and listening to this video. Until next time, guys, peace.